Hello everyone and welcome to Gierok Farms. Today we are going to be putting the old feed bunk to rest. Brought some paper trash up here and we're going to burn it. And this bunk has been around for quite some time and we'll give you the backstory on that, but we should probably get it lit here first so we can babysit it for a while. It's a good day to burn. We got some rain in the forecast and we had some rain over the past week here. There's no risk of it spreading. Thank you all for watching. Let's get this lit here. All right, so we got the fire started here, and you've had this bunk for quite some time, right, Dad? It's been probably well over 30 years, correct?
I built this bunk in '88, October of '88. We sawed lumber that year. I know I talked about that before. Now you've got some pictures you're going to put up. This was really my first cattle operation, was this bunk. I was on my dad's place, so my dad's farm set up somewhat like the way we do things now. We had, I think, like 112 heads. We were maxed out. We didn't have no more room in the building, so. And just like Aaron here, I wanted to farm. I wanted to have my own livestock, so we would save more heifers than typically, because we did sell some as calves, because we didn't really have enough feed at times neither. So bull calves, there was different times they weren't worth a lot, so I thought I'm going to keep some of these bull calves, raise them up for feeders and stuff like that. The only way I was going to make that work, for instance, to build this bunk, so I think it was maybe 18 feet, because we did, I was up here yesterday, I took the steel off the top and I cut it up more, so when this burns down, we're going to rake all the nails and hardware, whatever, together, and so those don't end up in some cow's belly, because we are in the pasture here. But anyway, probably 16 or 18 feet by, I had it wide enough so you could put round bales inside it, and I had one end so you could open it up and then roof on it and everything. And then we used to do those piles of corn stalks, and I had started out baby calves underneath some of that stuff for shelter, and that out of just old posts, old steel, kind of like a makeshift little operation there. And if you really look at the photo, you'll kind of see that. So here I was maybe 19, and my dad wasn't so fond of me using premium lumber and going out and buying materials and everything, so I just used whatever I could get, so we didn't have to have a lot of invested into it. It kind of worked out pretty good. So that's 88, and then I already had a handful of cows that from those calves that were milking already, and more heifers and stuff. And I was at the point where if we didn't get this farm, if we weren't able to buy this farm when we did, I would have had to sell some of my cattle because of room. I was really kind of right on that verge of needing to grow for my own sake. And that when I bought this, then I remember shoving this into a bale rack. I wish we had pictures of that. And we one of those 9x16 bale racks to get it here. Now, there's pictures of where I grew up, and I don't know if you got pictures of where she grew up too. I mean, there was some questions about that. Just to touch on that a bit, there was questions on, is where I grew up still a dairy? And it is. My youngest brother is still running a dairy there, roughly about the same size as us, similar machinery and a little more old school ideas and some of that too. Cob corn. Up where she grew up, you want to touch on that?
My brother owns that farm, and there's still a dairy there. That's converted from a stanchion barn to a milking parlor.
Your brother had built a huge bedding pack barn. It's a little bit different than the way your dad operated, but it's still a dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so anyway, we're retiring the old bunk. I mean, it was at the point where it was ready to keel over. There's absolutely no treated lumber in here. The floorboard, so if you look, you can see the table saw. These are oak boards, and I put a groove in. I grooved the wide boards for the floor, and then we bolted a lot of it together on the bottom. I think I had some 4x6s, so I basically built a deck on top of that. I got angle iron in the corners and everything, so I could skid it and move it and push it with the bobcat without it somewhat coming apart.
As you can see, this stuff is burning pretty good. It's been drying out for a few decades.
And that's all like red oak. I still remember you got pictures of that log pile too, don't you?
Yeah, we'll throw that in there.
That was 88, so that picture was taken in March, and then of course we saw it over 4th of July weekend of that year, and then it was on my dad's place, of course, and out in the area of the pasture anyway. And I still remember where the tree came from that put most of this together. And you can still see on some of those top boards, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but there's wormholes So it was a huge red oak that was dry, kind of similar to what we used for that wagon.
It's really taking off.
It's getting hot. I feel like I'm gonna get shaved real quick with that. You gotta be careful.
I think it's nice and warm.
So then getting back to that, so that log, I still remember where that tree was standing where I cut it off on my dad's farm. You know, dozens of trees I cut off for that sawing time. It's like the bunk lived and now it's dead, and now we're, like you said,
returning it back to the earth here.
more or less.
This bunk at first when we came here was behind the barn where you have the other one now that you've built.
Where that little red one is for the
So
switch cow.
this fed my young stock. So we were very limited on what we had here. I mean, the dairy barn, of course, and then where we put heifers, that was the old bull barn, so to speak, but there was no real feed bunk in there or nothing. I think they fed them outside somewhere somehow on a feed wagon or something, but yeah, so we were using that there for years and years. And then after we were able to get some more, this 40 over here we ended up getting back in 98. So then the 80 acres back here ended up becoming dry cow heifer pasture. And then we've had some dry years in there somewhere. So we took the bunk and we thought this is gonna be a place to supplement a little hay or grain during the summer months of grazing.
Yeah, and that's what its last job was when it got dry late in the summer, you could supplement hay up here.
And I did put the salt and the mineral in there. And I don't know, I'm always a believer in having your feed covered. It just seems like once it gets rained on or snowed on or something, it's just, you know, you're shoveling it out. You're virtually, it doesn't become edible anymore.
I think I've seen a number somewhere where if you keep them from laying on it, like even just an open top feeder, like a round bale feeder, I think you save 50% of that feed, they claim.
But even 50%, it should be 95%.
Yeah.
But anyway,
they'll eat it better. For
when
sure.
when feed is short, you don't want to waste it, and you pay a lot of money for that, and we try to get as much out of it as we can. Yeah, it's getting hot. So getting back now, so when we started, if you look on some of those old photos, I know there was a hog shed and a chicken coop. And then they've had their time. They were probably 80 to 100 years old, some of that stuff already. But I remember cutting it apart with the chainsaw in sections, maybe 6 by 6 chunks, and it was all kindled stuff just like this. I didn't have the dump trailer. We stacked it up on one of those old wood hauler wagons as best I could, and I don't know if I tie strapped it or what. Drove up the Dugway. I had it right on top of the hill because I didn't want to burn it in the yard. We were too close to other buildings and stuff. And then I know it was kind of dry for a while there, so then I couldn't burn it. I left it there for maybe a month. And then one evening it rained just a little bit. And then I thought I'm going to go up there quick and light it. I think this was before you guys. It was middle of summer, and it was just like daylight. I mean, it was so hot, and it burned so quickly. It was just crazy. Kind of like burning an old corn crib. It's just wild how kindled that stuff is. And actually that was before cell phones and stuff, but there was 2 or 3 different neighbors and people that were driving by way out on the highway that actually drove in, thought there was some out of control fire going on up here. So it almost kind of scared me a little bit that we were, but those were back in the days. And then again, all that was left the next morning was just I think a 5-gallon bucket full of nails and hardware to rig together.
Yeah, it burns quick, that's for sure. No doubt about that.
That's the thing when the barn or something lights up, there's virtually nothing you can do but try to salvage the other things that are somewhat
prevent it from spreading to other buildings. Keep it contained. On a happier note, we're going to replace this, correct? We'll probably be building another one.
Well,
or are you going to try to use those feeder trailers that we have?
I do have we bought a trough, like a plastic to feed grain in. So what's happened up here is we ended up opening up more of this. I haven't been supplementing them as much as I used to in the past, simply because there's just more grass. We do got another bunk down there. I bought a notch bunk, which I put a nice roof on it and different stuff too. But I think the future plan, especially with the sake of the sawmill, which is going to be very easy for us to do, build something again like this so I can feed round bales in it.
Especially last year's first crop, that would be perfect for some of this.
Yeah, stuff like that, where you maybe get in the fall of the year where it's not like real cold, but the grass is shut off some. You want to keep them cattle out there if you can. Manure and bedding is less, it's better for the cattle. When it comes to a feed bunk like this, when you got a whole group of cattle all the way around, it gets a beating. I mean, I've seen the one in the barnyard, how they literally move it, you know, so you're sliding it back to the original spot. So it's got to be built so it can get banged around and not fall apart, because nothing worse than spending all kinds of energy putting something together and money and then it's falling apart before it actually got life out of it. And then here I did take all the steel off, and that was all nailed to oak, and I was debating whether I even should do that because it gets nails out of oak boards. Well, they did come loose pretty good, so there's a few sheets in there that could probably be used for some sort of repairs on different things, but for the most part that's pretty well done. We're gonna go cut some trees. You guys watch this fire. Just leave a message if you think that fire's getting out of control, so we
Well, I'll be watching it. They can help me.